Good morning and welcome to the BACP Business Education Workshop webinar series. We have adapted our regular business education workshops at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. I want to inform you that business license can be processed online by visiting chicagobusinessdirect.org. All BACP offices are open to the public. Please be advised that masks are required in all BACP facilities and 6 feet of social distancing must be maintained at all times. If you are a part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. I will put that email in the chat. If you want to learn more about this program, please visit chicago.gov/business education. Also, you can receive targeted emergency alerts for the business community by opting in to ShyBiz Emergency Alerts. If you are interested, please visit chicago.gov/ShyBiz Alerts. We encourage attendees to ask questions. Please use the chat box and send your questions to all panelists. There will be a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. Today's webinar is entitled More Clients, Less Marketing: How to Create More Leads and More Income by Doing Less, presented by Mary Cravets of simplygetclients.com. Sorry about that, Mary. Mary Cravets is a client generation expert and international speaker who helps entrepreneurs to significantly grow their business without working nights and weekends. Using her method, the majority of her clients quickly increase their income from 50 to 100%. Clients include the former CFO of Microsoft North America, though leaders in coaching industry and rising stars in a variety of other professions. Mary is also an avid roller coaster enthusiast and a kayaking volunteer for a wildlife protection program in Morro Bay, California. If you would like to follow Mary as she's presenting today, there will be a link in the chat for you to follow Mary along in real time. At this time, I will now turn this webinar over to Ms. Mary for us to begin.
Great. Thanks, Stella. You did great with my name. I appreciate that. So thank you so much for having me here. I have to say that I'm from San Luis Obispo, California, and Chicago is probably my favorite city in the US. I have friends there. I love the food there. So I'm very excited to have yet another connection. And I hope that when the world opens up, that I can visit and actually see some of you in person. So let's jump right in. As Stella said, there's going to be a handout, that link in the chat here in just a minute. So if you want to keep your notes super organized, she's putting that in there in just a moment. And is there, I'm going to ask Stella, is there captioning for this?
No, that's something that we have been trying to figure out with WebEx. So at this time, no.
Okay, I have a version, I can provide a version that is of this presentation that is captioned. So at the end, I have, well, you'll get my contact information and I'm happy to get that out to you. Okay, so let's jump into the content. More clients, less marketing. This is going to be a roll up your sleeves and do work with me today. We're going to have a good time if you close down your email, put down your phone, and really focus. That way you're going to have solid tools and takeaways so that this is a really good investment of your time, which is always my goal. Okay, so my first question is, do you ever feel like this? Your brain has too many tabs open. There's so much going on. Things are changing every day. But the good news is today is not about doing more. I hope that's okay with you. Today is about understanding how to maximize what's already working. Because what I know is you are accomplished at what you do. You're smart. And today I am here with structure and a system so you can bring your gifts and your brilliance to the table and then maximize them so you can be getting more clients, you can earn more money and make a bigger impact with less effort and actually have some fun while you're doing it. What a concept. Okay, so the whole way that you get to more clients with less marketing is focus. I mean, it's pretty simple to do less marketing. I can do that all day, no problem. The challenge is how do you get that more clients piece? It's about focus. So we're going to start the focus the focusing process right here at the top of our training. So if you aren't getting all the new business and clients that you want, it's generally because there's a problem in just one of three areas. Number one, you don't have a comprehensive client generation plan. Without a plan, you're generally feeling busy instead of productive, like you're spinning your wheels. Or number two, there's something getting in the way of implementation. If you get distracted by bright, shiny objects and aren't building momentum, it's often an implementation problem. Or number three, it's a lead generation issue. You need to improve lead generation. This generally means that you need to maximize a current strategy or build skills in a new strategy. Otherwise, you're probably dabbling in way too many things and you're not going to get traction. So that's our starting point. Plan, implement, lead generation. Now you're going to get a lot of tips and tactics right away, but bigger picture, like really, really big picture, looking at the growth of your business and client generation, this is the most important thing for you to get clear about today. Which of these is your priority? All right, so how are we going to get you to that clarity? Here's what we're going to cover today. Number one, you're going to learn a simple mindset tool that melts your resistance to implementing marketing and putting yourself out there. Number two, you're going to create a customized lead generation strategy that will allow you to stop wasting time and money on things that aren't working anyway. And number three, you're going to look at the 6 essential elements of an effective client generation plan that makes it easier to attract clients, grow your income, and make a bigger impact in the world. I'm going to include some case studies along the way to deepen the learning of these principles. And then after I do the first 2 teaching points, we're going to do a break for Q&A. We're going to do that in the chat. And then at the end, we'll have probably a little bit more time for some Q&A. And I'm not going to answer questions in the chat in between those times. So all of the concepts I teach really are strung together congruently for the best possible learning environment. Okay, so that's all the housekeeping. So now I'm going to get you involved. I want you to open up your chat window if you don't already have it open. Open up your chat window, put your fingers on the keyboard, and I have a question for you. I have a question I'm going to ask in just a second, and I want you to type in the first thing that comes to mind. Short answer, 10 words or less, 5 words or less is your challenge. So here is the question. Why is this topic important to you? Why is this topic important to you? You probably have 27 other things you could be doing right now, but you're here. That means it's a priority. So why is it important to you? And I'm going to just keep an eye on the chat. Spend less on digital marketing. Yay, Anthony. Yes, big time, big time. We'll talk a difference between marketing and lead generation. If I don't remember that, Anthony, please feel free to remind me. Lead generation versus marketing. I want bigger impact and work smarter, not harder. I need to market better. I just changed my business and need clients. Oh, we have such a great thing. I have such a great thing for you today, Regina. It's going to be really helpful. I need more clients, better understanding. Good. All of these things that are coming in, focus on what I actually like doing in my business. Yay, Caitlin. Caitlin, I'm going to give you an assignment, and that is if I don't go through the second way to evaluate your lead generation, you're going to give me a little nudge and remind me to come back to what you like to do. Okay, expand my market, motivation to engage. Yes, yes. Okay, fantastic. These are all things we are going to cover today, and it's going to come through your discovery. So what I think one of the things that's really important to me when I learn from someone is I want to know that this isn't something they read in a book somewhere. It's not theoretical. So just before we kick off, I'm just going to give you a little bit of where this all comes from, because it's all from my in the trenches experiences as a 10-year plus business owner. I have a training and coaching company. I've owned it for 10 years, more than 10 years now. And I just loved it. When I started it, I was super excited. I was running in a million different directions, really excited about what I was doing, but not charging what I was worth. No real plan of action on how to attract clients consistently and reach my goals. Now, what happened for me is it took less than 2 years to be completely burned out and get a diagnosis of adrenal exhaustion. Suddenly, I only had 4 hours of energy a week to run my business. And as I was trying to figure out how to navigate this crisis and keep my business going, a question popped into my head. This is the first thing that I recommend you write down. The question that popped into my head was, what's working? What's working? Because I didn't have the time or energy to chase down what Facebook was doing with its algorithm this week or what the latest, greatest marketing trend was. I needed to know that whatever strategy I put my very limited time and energy into would actually produce results. And starting with that one question, my business grew as I recovered my health. And eventually, that one approach evolved into a client generation system. And here it is. This is what helped me double my business several times over. And it's the reason my clients are so successful as well. This is what I'm going to share with you today. And from all of these experiences, I have learned 3 things for a fact. Number 1 is anyone can create a steady stream of great clients. I did it when I was sick. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. You don't have to be born with this. Number 2, to win in business, you must customize. There's no one size fits all cookie cutter approach. In order to succeed, you've got to customize. And number 3, when you do it right, when you get that structure in, when you allow it to be easy, you can stop the overwhelm and get such better results with a lot less effort. So let's jump into the first teaching point, where you're going to learn a simple mindset tool that melts your resistance to implementing marketing. Because the strategies I'm going to teach today and you're going to discover today, they really clarify how to best spend your time in marketing. But if marketing and client generation always fall to the bottom of your list, or you have resistance to putting yourself out there for some reason, then we've got to address mindset. If we don't address this first, then no matter what you learn here today, you will snap back to doing what you have always done. So here is the tool. It's a single, simple question that gently but persistently shifts your perspective. The question is, am I willing for this to be easy? Am I willing for this to be easy? Now, this works because your brain is essentially wired to say yes. So when you say, oh my gosh, this is so hard, this is going to be so difficult, how am I going to struggle through this? Your brain seeks out ways to make that true. It says, yes, let me throw some obstacles in your way. Let me make you feel completely stressed out about this. But when you use this tool, this mindset tool, am I willing for it to be easy? Kind of like a mantra. Am I willing for this to be easy? Your brain clicks in and says yes. And it seeks out easy solution. It lowers your stress level. Now, I have to tell you, I'm a highly pragmatic, bottom line driven person. I really like to see what's the structure, what are the outcomes, what are the results. So when I spend any time on mindset, it is because there is a bottom line difference in your stress levels and in your business. I had a client once, and she had this long time business, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years, training and coaching company. And she kept trying to scale it up. She kept trying to scale it up, scale it up, scale it up, just couldn't quite get over the hump. Always feeling like when she was working, she was neglecting her kids. When she was with her kids, she was neglecting her business. And she just got into this cycle, and she had this vision of something a lot bigger with hiring people and really making a huge impact. And she just couldn't get out of the cycle. So before we could go into delegating and all the scaling strategies of pricing structures and so forth, we had to address the mindset, because at the most fundamental level, she didn't believe it was possible to have both. So I invite you to check in. And is there a part of you that's like, gosh, if I grow, I'm going to be too busy. I'm going to get stuck working all the time, nights and weekends. What happened for her is, by starting with a mindset, we were able to, first of all, lower her stress level considerably, and then she doubled her business 2 years in a row after we dug into the other strategies. This is the foundation, though. This is the foundation. If you have any resistance to putting yourself out there, or any concerns about getting overwhelmed with business, even if it is an unconscious thing that is running. Okay, let's do some of that wonderful roll up your sleeves and dig in work on your business. So you're going to create a customized lead generation strategy that will allow you to stop wasting time and money on things that don't work. There are so many ways to get the word out about your business. So how do you actually distinguish your winning combination of lead generation actions from all the noise that's out there? Well, that is what we're going to do today. And just to show you where we are on the map, this is, we're going to look at proactive marketing, your lead generation custom formula. Okay, so if you have the handout, you have a nice little grid that you're going to do this exercise in. If you don't, no problem. Get out a piece of paper or on your iPad if that's what you use to write on, and just draw a line top to bottom on the page and so you have two columns, left column, right column. In that left-hand column, you are going to do a brainstorm. I am going to describe what you're going to do, and then I'm going to give you a minute. It's going to be speed round. You're going to brainstorm when I give you this 1 minute. So the first thing we got to do is stop the overwhelm. All those questions of should I do this and should I do that? All of that information, all those questions are sucking the energy out of your life and your business, and it stalls your progress. So we got to get all of that noise out onto paper first. So here's what I'm going to have you brainstorm. You are going to list all the marketing and lead generation activities you do consistently, the things you do inconsistently, the things you think you should be doing, the things that you're curious about trying, the things that are advertised to you on social media in your inbox. Everything, 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 everything. This is about quantity, not quality. So put everything onto paper, and we will be streamlining it and focusing it in just a minute. So I'm going to give you 1 minute starting now. Got about 20 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, pencils down. Okay, so this may be what your list looks like. By the way, what is up on the screen is not like check your answers to see if you got it right. Everyone's list is going to look a little bit different. This is just an example. The next step, though, is you're going to focus in on the marketing activities that will bring you great clients. So in your second column, you're going to start to look at how to identify what works for you. So in the second column, you're going to write down the names of 5 clients, 5 great clients, not an avatar, not who is your ideal client, but actual names of actual clients. They should be people who they pay you on time, they appreciate your expertise, they don't haggle. You'll notice on the screen, do you see in that second column right next to where it says clients, there's a smiley face? Well, that's because whatever you put in that second column is actually what we're going to be, I'm going to show you how to duplicate. And you don't want to duplicate those PETA clients, the pain in the ass clients that suck all of your energy and just, you don't want any more of them. So write down the names of 5 clients. For the purposes of our time today, we're just going to do 5 clients. When you go out of here, I would highly recommend you do this for your entire client list over the last couple of years. And in a minute, if you don't have clients or just getting started, I'm going to show you your method for evaluation. Okay, so once you have your names of your clients in that second column, how do you create a bridge between your marketing actions and getting clients you just adore and who adore you back? Well, it's pretty simple. You draw a line from the name of the client over to the marketing strategy or action that brought them to your door. What you will generally find is that there is a concentration of results coming from just a smaller number of activities. So I'll give you a second to do that. Now, if you do not have a lot of clients, if you're getting started or kicking off something new and you don't have any track record to fall back on, what you're going to do is you're going to write down 3 words. The first word is like. So Caitlin, I think it was you said you want to do work you enjoy. So here we go. You want to write down the word like. You want to write down the word know, K-N-O-W, K-N-O-W. And the third word is results. So like, know, results. What you're going to do is you're going to go through that marketing list. You're going to go through that marketing list and you're going to check off. You're going to say, okay, which of these things do I like to do? Which of these things do I like to do? Anything that you like to do, you check. You just put a check mark next to them. Then you're going to go through the list again. Which of these do I know how to do right now? I don't have to take a class. I don't have to learn it. I just go do it right now. So which of those things do you know how to do right now? And the third piece is what traditionally gets results in your industry, in what you do. And that's maybe a little bit of a tougher one. And if you want any feedback on that, you can definitely ask in the Q&A session. I do have some knowledge about different industries and what's working for client generation. So if you're not sure what's getting results, just ask that question in the Q&A session that's coming up in just a minute. But you go through and what gets results in your industry. Now, this can be a little tough because you don't want to just look at what everybody else is doing in your industry and just go do that. There are a lot of people out there trying a lot of things, and they can look very polished and like everything's going great, but they may not actually be getting results from what you're seeing. So make sure that if you're following what someone else is doing, that you are actually getting the behind the scenes inside scoop on what's actually getting results. So what do you like to do? What do you know how to do? What's getting results in your particular industry? The marketing activities that have 3 check marks, that's where you're going to start your efforts. And I'm going to give you, in just a minute, I'm going to give you a checklist that's going to help you know how to put these actions into put this information into action, and then also how to quantify and measure it. Okay, so what I want to know now is, what did you discover? I would like to hear from you in the chat. What did you discover as your where's most of your business coming from? Let's see, referrals. Thanks, Angie. Okay, fantastic. Okay, referrals is one. I'm just replying to something right now. Okay, let's see. Chat, word of mouth, LinkedIn, Facebook referrals, word of mouth, LinkedIn. Oh, I'm reading. Friends, past clients, Google My Business and website. Fantastic. Instagram, great. Fantastic. Okay, so here's what I hope you're noticing is that everybody's, there are some similarities, but everybody's answer is different. Everybody's answer is different. So what I'm curious about now is, what questions do you have? It's great to identify these things, but since everyone's business is different, like your next question, what is the next hurdle? What's the next stumbling block? What's the next thing you're wondering about? So you can put that into the chat or the Q&A, whatever you like. And I will let you know that we're going to try unmuting people if the question is a little more involved. So if you would like that, go ahead and put that in the chat. We have plenty of time for questions right now. I highly recommend you take advantage of the fact that I am here and can help you with the details. And if I don't get any Q&A, any questions, I will keep going, but I'm going to give it a minute so you can formulate it or raise your hand. Okay. Oh, let's see. Ronald, thank you for asking a question. How do I change marketing strategy besides my list? Ronald, what is your what kind of business are you in? If you could answer that, that would be great. And then I'm going to go to the next one. I'll come back to you, Ronald. Sylvia asks, leveraging the referral and nurturing it. You know, the trick. Okay, referrals. Let me talk about referrals because a lot of people were saying that was coming up. You called it referrals, you called it word of mouth. So referrals are for service-based businesses. It's the one way that business comes in, and it is also the number one strategy that is most misunderstood, I would say, because it feels like something that just happens to you and isn't something that you can control. You have some degree of control over. And I have to tell you, my very first entrepreneurial venture when I was very green and kind of young was I was in real estate. I was a realtor, and I was taught referral generation, a referral generation system. And my first year to my second year, just putting referrals into place in a brand new town too, by the way, I tripled my income. So I happen to know that there is a lot of control and a very low cost involved with referral generation. So the trick to it, or the strategy to it, is deciding on how to nurture your network and then just doing it and following up. So I'll give you an example. When I was in real estate, what I did is I had a list of 80 people who I kept in contact with. Every day, I would pick up the phone and call 5 people from my list. Hey, how you doing? Do you have any questions in real estate? What's going on in the market? Okay, great. If you need anything, or if you know anyone who needs anything, I always appreciate your referrals. Hang up the phone, write a personal note, and then and send it out. And then once a month, I sent out something in the mail, like an item of value, like something about a kitchen upgrade, remodel, and what value it would be to your home. The point is that I did something very specific over and over and over and over. And that is what's important. And it doesn't matter if that touch or that nurture is sending a note card or inviting them to lunch. Whatever it is, it has to stay consistent, because the thing about referrals is that you probably have a lot of people in your life who are willing to refer if they were asked and you kind of trained them, because they won't remember you. Even though they love you, they won't necessarily remember you unless you are asking. And the balance really is like, how do I ask without feeling like I'm pushy or I've got feeling pushy, feeling like you're nagging them all the time. I am happy to, I have a mini course that is free. I'm happy to provide to you. You have to reach out to me to get it. And I'll give you my contact information, but it is the basics, the essentials of relational referrals, which is very inexpensive to build your business, and so effective. So if you do request that, if you can put something about Chicago in the subject line, that'd be great. That way we know what you're looking for. Okay, I'm going to go back to Ronald. Oh, wow, there's a lot of questions now. Yay. See, Ronald says, oh my gosh, security and mental health. Okay, so I'm guessing that's a service-based business. So changing marketing strategies besides my list. The key to changing marketing strategies, and actually one of the things that'll be helpful is the next teaching point, because you're going to evaluate the whole client generation process, your whole client generation process, and you may see where you can make some adjustments. But if you want to change marketing strategies, first I'd wonder why. If something isn't working and you need something less expensive, whatever the reasoning is, your first thing to do is, where does your ideal client gather? That's the first question to ask. So if they are gathering in schools, then you are needing to get contacts and network in with that whole world. Also, you're going to have to get into the, what is it called when you do government bids, get into that whole process. If you are looking to get in front of solo entrepreneurs, then speaking is an amazing strategy. I do a lot of work on that. Referrals, if you already have a client base, and okay, so let me just make an assumption, Ronald. If you have a list, people who have been listening to you, following you, want what you have, and you want to expand that, One of the ways to do that is to either network or speak at groups where your ideal clients gather. So reaching out to your list and having a simple like one question survey with some kind of reward for participating, you could ask them, what kind of groups do you attend? You know, get real true market research. And the best people, of course, to ask this of are your clients, because they're going to hang out where other potential clients will be. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. And again, Ronald, if you would like to be unmuted, just let me know and we can unmute you and we can have a conversation around that. Let's see, Anthony, most of our clients looking for the cheapest, not the best quality there, or they are too disorganized to be consistent. Okay, Anthony, then those aren't your clients. There is something going on with either your, because here's the thing, ideal client, let's talk about this again. Ideal client is not the people who, they are not the people who are looking bargain shoppers. So there's something probably in your messaging that's saying, come bargain shop with me. Or there's something in where you're going to find your clients that is not at a high enough level. And if your clients are looking for the cheapest and not the best quality and they're disorganized, then you have to change your offer so it matches them. So there's a mismatch and there's not a way to make these people you're encountering change who they are and what they want. That means like this huge education process, which is way too hard and way too expensive. It's a mismatch right now. So you either have to change what you're doing to match what they want, or change where you're going, like the people over here, change where you're going. So what you offer is actually, people take you up on it. I'd be curious to know what you do actually. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Sylvia says, I'd like a simple way to keep it going and incentivize. I have a very simple way to do referrals, or the way I used to do it is at the beginning of the month, so analog, so old school. I would print out a list of all of my people who I wanted to talk to about referrals. I printed it out, I put it on my desk, and by the end of the month, everyone had to be checked off. If someone gives me a referral, which means not a recommendation, which means someone said, hey, I recommended you to someone, Mary, but a referral, which is you send me an email to introduce me to them. I send a $5 Starbucks gift card through email, boom, instantly, not when it closes, but when they give it to me, because the referral source has done their job. Their job is to bring me a lead, we hope. Their job is to bring me a lead. My job is to close it. So you reward them. This is a really important thing actually with referral generation. You reward them after they've done their job, not after you've closed it. Okay. Let's see. Keep it going and incentivize. Oh, fun fact, Sylvia. And this is, so there've been some social psychological studies done around this, is that people do not want to be seen as self-serving. They do not want to be seen as self-serving. So in most cases, incentivizing people to give you a referral actually can work against you, because people don't want to feel like, oh, well, I'm referring you because I'm going to get something. They don't ever want to be accused of that. And that's why I like the approach I take is all about relationships. It's relational referrals rather than transactional. They are going to recommend you, Sylvia, because they think you are the best at what you do. And they want to make sure nobody they know works with anybody else in your industry. And they are just raving fans. I heard it called walking, talking billboards. That's what you're nurturing and creating. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Let's see, security and mental health. Oh, that was that. Oh, Caitlin says testimonials on websites. Okay, this is a great place for me to describe that something I mentioned earlier about lead generation and visibility and credibility marketing. So there's a time to talk about social media, of course, because it's like in our face all the time. But what people don't understand is that social media in general, not 100% of the time, but in general, is a visibility and credibility piece. Okay, visibility and credibility marketing is the stuff that sits out there in the world passively And the trick to getting people to become clients from it is they have to kind of stumble upon you, and you have to have a step-by-step system built to get them to contact you and purchase your product or your service. So visibility and credibility marketing, your website, social media, blogging, things like that, your YouTube channel, all of that, visibility and credibility. Over here, lead generation. Lead generation. So if visibility and credibility is the stuff you do hoping people will stumble upon it, lead generation is what you proactively do to put yourself in the path of your ideal client so that you can make an offer. The problem arises when people are throwing all their life, all their money, all of their time and energy into things like social media, because they are, and it is a visibility and credibility piece, but they're hoping it's going to act like lead generation. So it's just a mismatch of the strategies. It's a mismatch of the strategies. There was one more thing about this. It'll come back to me. So Caitlin, testimonials on a website, credibility and visibility. Now, that was the thing. Both of these are important because let's say we're talking about Sylvia, who's getting most of the work from referrals. That is a lead generation. If you systematize it, I'm going to give you that checklist in a minute. If you systematize it and get it, be proactive about it, referrals is a lead generation thing. However, when Sylvia is referred somebody, what is the first thing they're going to do? They're not going to pick up the phone and call her. They're going to go out onto the web and they're going to look at your social media. They're going to look at your website. They're going to make sure you are credible. So there's still a job to be done by this credibility and visibility stuff. It's just understanding what job each of these things is supposed to do so that you can get the most out of each of them. All right, I'm going to take, I think, one more question, and then I have to, I'm going to move on, and we will have more time. Okay, let's see. Angie says, web graphic designer. All my business has been referrals. I've been in business for over a year. Great. I need to generate more income and would like to go after better clients. Okay, Angie, I'm going to recommend you really pay attention to the next thing I teach, like the third teaching point, because that really dives into how to kind of tune up what you're already doing and identify your areas for better opportunity. So I think that's going to easily answer the question. Okay. Stella, if you could note that the last question we took was from Caitlin in the chat, and that way, once I wrap up, we'll come back to this and do a little more Q&A starting at that point. Fabulous. Thank you. Okay. So let's keep going. All right. Next steps. This is that checklist I've talked about a couple of times. So it's great to identify what's working, but then now what? What do you do next? So this is a checklist. You may want to take a screenshot or just jot it down. These are the important next steps. The first thing you want to do is get specific. Okay, so you identify that referral generation is where your business is coming from. So the next step is you've got to translate those strategies into actions. It's nice to know referrals, but what are the actions you're going to take around that? Are you going to send people a handwritten note each month? Are you going to call them? What are you going to do to put this strategy into action? Critical and easy to miss first step. Second thing is you're going to define your activity levels. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here's how much I'm going to do it. And then the all important, put it on your calendar like an appointment and keep that appointment with yourself. We have a saying in my company, all my clients, my whole team and everything, it's early in the month, early in the week, early in the day. That's when you do your lead generation. Early in the month, early in the week, early in the day. Because if you have a plan each month, if you have your formula for your client generation and you wait during the month, guess what? It gets heavier and heavier and heavier, draining your energy. So get it into the calendar. Let's see. Then you want to track it. You have to track your activity because what we're always going for, and the goal I recommend for you is make it into a formula. I do this activity and I get these results. And you only know if that happens if you're tracking. And it doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, it doesn't have to be a dashboard or something very complicated. I was using paper for a long time. I just moved to my iPad And now we're moving to some Google Docs because the team's growing and we have to share, but track your activity. Okay, my goal is to, let's say, for instance, my goal is to do 20 referral contacts throughout the month. Track. How many are you doing? Are you doing them? At the end of the month, what is your income? How many prospects did you get? How many referrals did you get? You've got to see if the system is working. And the fun thing is when you do track and you track all the way from here are the activities I do all the way to closing the client, if there's a breakdown somewhere along the way, let's say you're getting tons of prospects, but not closing them, then you can pinpoint, oh, look, I have a sales process problem. Or if you're doing lots of speaking, but not getting any leads, oh, you have a content problem in your speaking, or maybe you have an audience problem. So it helps you have a very, very high degree of control of your business. So tracking your activity, tracking your results, that's what will get you to that formula. That's what we do with our clients. And then you want to systemize. Okay, this is so everything takes less of your time and you can delegate it and start as soon as possible and start scaling your business. Now, one of the things about systemizing and delegating or automating, an even easier way to leverage this, and I just realized this morning that I don't usually share this because it's so second nature to me, I don't even think about it. But you want to look at everything you're doing already and figure out how you can mesh some of your marketing with and your lead generation with what you're already doing. I was on the phone with a client the other day and they were like, oh my gosh, I get so busy with work and then I don't do any of my lead generation. And then I have this kind of up and down thing happening because I'm doing all this client work. I can't get to the lead generation. And then once the client rolls off, I'm in this valley. Okay. Well, one example of leveraging, getting the most out of your activity is as you're working with clients, ask for referral. It's a little bit of a multitasking type of thing. If you're talking to your referral partners, this is one thing I do is that when I'm talking to my referral partners, I'm asking about, what groups do you know who look for speakers? Because that's what I'm always looking for. So looking for what you're naturally doing and how can you get more results out of what you're already doing. That's the best. Okay. One more teaching point, and then we will get into more Q&A and my contact info and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's jump into the 6 essential elements of an effective client generation plan. Makes it easier to attract clients, grow your income, and make a bigger impact in the world. I did see a couple of you said included impact or making a difference in your comments, which is totally my jam. All right, so in order to succeed, you've got to have a client generation system that consistently attracts high quality clients. It's just the way it is. So I want to check on this. And I, again, want you to get into the chat, open it up. I've got a yes or no question for you. Put your fingers on the keyboard. Here is the question. Do you have a written client generation plan? Do you have a written client generation plan? No. Okay. I do not yet. Yay, Caitlin. Nice. Okay. Well, this is very common and it doesn't matter if I'm talking to, I don't know, it doesn't matter if I'm talking to experienced business owners, newer business owners. This concept of a client generation plan is kind of, Sylvia says, do writing ideas down count. No, sorry, a good start, not to discourage, but no. Most people don't have a plan because they've never thought of client generation as something to plan. There's the marketing plan and there's your sales process and your pricing, and it's all these pieces are treated like these separate pieces. And the fact is that when you treat them like a system, when you get the whole plan together, then they all work together. You create that leverage and you get more results. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to equip you with a bigger picture of client generation so you can be proactively attracting more clients. Okay. I'm going to define 6 essential elements. I recommend you write them down. And then you will assess how clearly defined this is in your business on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is low and 10 is high. Don't overthink this. For the purposes of our class today, just write down the first thing that comes to mind. Just whatever comes to mind. You can do this more in depth later. This is a simple assessment to understand where you are right now with the elements of a client generation plan, because there are things that are already working great in your business and there are things to be tuned up. You're going to discover which is which right now. All right, so the first piece is a values-driven profit strategy. This means you're building a business that is in perfect alignment with your values and vision, plus is profitable. Now, this contains a lot of foundational pieces. It's developing your vision, your goals, understanding your values, and establishing a pricing structure you feel totally confident will get you to your goals. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how clear are you about your pricing, values, and vision in your business? Are you charging what you're worth? Number 2, remember that marketing strategy you just created, that lead generation? That's the start of your proactive marketing plan. When you pull together the full proactive plan, then you have a formula, a checklist. I mean, can you imagine what it'd be like to go, okay, I'm going to go into my business this month. I'm going to check off the things I need to do, and then I'm done with lead generation. And then over time, you see that you don't have to worry. It just works a little more like clockwork. This gives you the ability to get into specific focused actions so the income is consistently coming in. And so the question is, do you have that checklist, that lead generation checklist that brings you the leads that you're looking for? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you about your ability to bring in new leads consistently? Number 3 is ideal client clarity. Ideal client clarity. Ideal client is kind of like the heart and soul of what you do. It is your guide to decisions making, the decisions you make in your business. Where do your ideal clients gather in high concentration? So you are showing up where they are and not wasting time where they're not, or showing up where they're not and then trying to convince those people who are not your ideal clients, trying to convince them they need what you have. That you don't want to be in that place. So how clear are you about your ideal client and where they show up, so you can be showing up there too? Number 4 is magnetic messaging. So messaging is that translation of what you know about your ideal client and what's going on in their head you translate them into words, the words that appear on your website, the words, if you do talks, the words that you say, the names of the titles for your talks. Your introduction, when someone says, what do you do? Now, the key to making your messaging magnetic is really mirroring what's going on in your ideal client's mind and then communicating the value of what you do quickly so that people hire you faster. So when someone asks you, what do you communicate your value quickly? Does your ideal client say, wow, I need that? Rate yourself 1 to 10. Number 5 is sales and closing. Simply, can you convert a prospect into a paying client? Do you have a process by which you can explain what you do without over-explaining and drowning people in information and instead closing the sale? Or if you're working with corporations where there's a bidding process or a proposal process, do you know how to get those proposals through the process without getting bogged down by bureaucracy? So rate your ability to close the sale once someone says they're interested. And then the last piece, time management mastery. Do you get your priorities done and have a clear approach to managing your time? Rate your ability to stay in control and focused on the most important priorities. Okay, how do you use this? Several of you mentioned that something was changing in your business. So one way you can use this is to use it outside of today and use it in the future anytime something changes, so that you can say, you know what is working and what needs to be changed. I'll tell you, I did this evaluation in my own business on March 13th, 2020, because the whole world was exploding and we had no idea what was going on. And I thought, you know what, I have to reinvent my whole business. And sometimes I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. When things aren't quite going right, it's like reinvent, rebrand. Huge amount of work, huge amount of loss of the work that has already been done. And that's what I was right on the brink of. Instead, I did this evaluation in my own business, and I realized I needed to tweak my messaging. I needed to tweak my program offerings, just a couple of tweaks. So I got to retain all the hard work I'd done for 10 years and just change the things to meet the new needs of the market. So you can use this forever and ever and ever and ever in that way. Now, the way we're going to use it today is to get clarity, about this piece, the stuff that we were talking about at the very beginning of our relationship an hour ago. What do you actually need? Is it a plan? Is it implementation? Or is it lead generation? Now, if you have like 4 or more of these elements that need significant work, your most immediate need is probably an overall plan for client generation. It's time to step back and get clear. This is what most of the business owners I encounter, this is usually what they need. You got to step back, get really clear and intentional about each of these pieces so you actually can be getting more clients with less effort, with less marketing. If it looks like everything's dialed in, but you're not getting the results you want, then you're probably, you need to improve either the implementation, like get a better handle on your schedule, or your lead generation strategies just need an up level. Like I talk about referral generation a lot. So if referrals is working, but if you were more strategic about it, it could be working better, then you want to focus in on that. Now, I know sometimes going to these trainings, it's like you get some clarity, and then also it can feel a bit overwhelming. So I want to tell you a quick story about before I close this up and give you a couple more resources to start getting this into action for you. So inspiration, then we'll get into action. So a couple years ago, 4 years ago, I ran into a man who was out of the corporate world a couple years. He'd started an executive coaching firm, and he was doing well, but he kind of hit this plateau, like, okay, I don't know what to do now. And what happened is we worked together, and he doubled his business, and it was great. The thing that the point of this that I want you to see is that this is a skill set. So this is a highly successful man. This client generation stuff is a skill set that needs to be learned. And it is not taught in the university. It is not taught in the corporate world. It is not taught, marketing in the corporate world and doing this, very different things. And in case, there's any doubt in your mind, this man I'm talking about, he was the former CFO of Microsoft of North America. He's a very, very successful, very smart guy, and he did not have this skill set. So I just want to encourage you to look at this as just something you have to learn. I mean, if you want to knit and you don't know how, would you beat yourself up over it? No, you go on YouTube, you figure it out, right? Same thing here. It's a skill set. It can be learned. The more intentionally about it that you are, the better results you're going to get. Okay, so now let's make it happen with some implementation so we can create some lasting impact. What do you need to pull together in your business to pull together your plan, improve your implementation, or master lead generation so that you are getting better results? 3 things we're going to do today. That's where we're wrapping up the teaching portion of this. And we'll go into Q&A. So the first thing I'm going to have you do, and I'm going to give you about a minute to do this, is what is one bite-sized action you can take that you discovered here today? Don't need to put it in the chat. You can if you want to, but this is for you. Look over your notes and pick out a couple bite-sized things that you can do that will give you a good return on investment of the time you spent here today, and put those actions into your calendar. So I hope you have some bite-sized things. And I'm guessing you probably wrote down more than one thing, because I don't know, you're probably like me, because it's what I do. I want to do everything. I want that next level. So this brings us to the second step. And this is where we have to get your creative centers of your mind on board, because we've been taxing the logical left brain a lot today. And we want to get into those creative centers to really boost what you've learned. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is take your hands off the keyboard, put your pen down, ask you to take a deep breath, close your eyes if you're comfortable. And I'd like you to imagine. Imagine having a steady stream of great clients coming in. These are clients who pay you what you're worth. You're making a difference. You're known for your expertise and your brilliance. And to generate those clients, you have a plan. And it's not just anybody's plan. It's not just everybody's plan. It's a plan full of things that you enjoy implementing, where you always feel authentic and the plan is simple and clear. You never feel pushy. You know what to do, you know where to go, and you know what to say to take prospects from that first meeting to signing on the bottom line as a client. And you do this with confidence and with consistency and with ease and with profits. Take another deep breath. Open your eyes. Is that a vision you can get behind? Yes? I hope so. So now I hope you're feeling inspired and you're like, yes, okay, I see what I need to do. I need my plan. I need my implementation. And then what's the next challenge? You're a busy person. You're fired up. How do you keep this level of focus and inspiration week after week so you start getting real results? That brings us to the third point, and that is identifying something really important. When thinking about what you want and need in your business, who do you have in your corner who has accomplished what you want to accomplish and is available to help you when you need it most? The biggest turning points in my career always came with coaching, mentorship, training, support communities, and I know that the BACP has a ton of resources. So there's this great saying, it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. You have to go with others. Entrepreneurship, as much as we love the freedom, it is not the easiest life. There are days when you just want to work at Starbucks and be a barista instead. I mean, yeah, I said it. So you have to have that support system around you. I'm happy to be part of that support system. This is my contact information. I'm just gonna wrap that here too. It's in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me if you'd like that referral training. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And I'm going to close with a quote that I love, and then I'll just open it right up for questions until y'all run out of steam. Okay, so let's go into the Wayback Machine, and it is 10.5 years ago. I was in a business, I'd started a business that just sucked. It was sucking the soul out of me. It was not profitable. I was undervaluing myself. It was just awful. It was killing my soul. And the problem was that I didn't know what else to do. It was paying the bills. I mean, what am I going to do? Change my whole business because I'm unhappy? Well, that day, November 10th, 2010, I walked into a meeting, sat down, and was listening to the speaker. And in the middle of the presentation, he said one sentence that made me just like, oh, catch my breath. And suddenly not knowing what was next became irrelevant. I became so committed to just saying, forget it, I'm out of here. I got to do something different. So in my mind, in that moment, I quit that business. And over the next couple of months, I phased out my clients and I started this business. So here's what he said. He said, a major source of unhappiness in the world is settling for what is passable instead of reaching for what is possible. Every time I present to a group, my hope is that, yes, maybe I stretched your idea of what is possible, but even more important to me is that I've equipped you with some insights, some perspectives, some tools that will make those possibilities your reality a little bit sooner. So I appreciate having you here today, and I'm going to just leave this up, and I'm going to go back to the questions. Trying to find Caitlin. I'm sorry, bear with me, I'm going to get there. Okay, testimonials. There we go. Let's see. I'm going all the way back to a comment by Sam. Best connections come from referrals and direct phone calls to current clients. What I don't know, or as an introvert, I don't like to do is reach people I don't know. How do I lean in on current clients to refer me to new clients when the people I work for are so busy they don't have time to market for me? Okay, fantastic. So first of all, referrals is great for introverts. Let's just put it out there, because then you're very, very, very rarely talking to strangers, which is like sucks our energy. There's something to keep in mind. I was fretting over this probably 4 years ago, same kind of question, like cold market, how do I get to the cold market? And my husband, who also works in my business, he works for me, he says, Mary, the fastest way to the cold market is through the warm market. So continuing to lean into the people who you're reaching out to. And then the other thing is think about who also works with your ideal client. What other industries work with your ideal client but offer a different service? So lawyers and accountants are often referral partners. And start asking your current clients to introduce you to some of these industries, some of these people who could be amazing referral partners because they're already working with your ideal clients. They would be, I think of them as a center of influence. So create, 5 or 6 centers of influence who are also working with your ideal client, offering different services. And then you can not only be receiving referrals, but also for your clients, you will have vetted good people to refer them out to. And it becomes a very good reciprocal relationship for you and your business. All right, I'm going to go down to the next comment. Let's see. Sophia asked, the link is for the handout. The recording will be available. Yes, so that will be coming out. And okay, and please feel free to put in additional questions at this point. Let's see, Ahmed said, referrals mean exchange of business for hunting clients between companies. What is your opinion regarding this issue? So the way that this is, okay, so I'm gonna read that again so that everyone knows the question I'm addressing. Referrals means exchange of business for hunting clients between companies. What is your opinion regarding this issue? So first of all, when I think of referrals, that's not how I think of it. Okay. Because that would mean that there are actual people whose job it is to do these things for each other. The kind of referrals, I can give you an example. The other day I was on the line with a prospective client, and a friend of mine too, and she said, okay, so I said, what is the top problem? She says, I need to drive traffic to my website. That's what, she has a product-based business and I work with service-based. And she says, I need to drive traffic. And I said, that's not me. That's my client, Amy. I said, let me introduce you to Amy. I know Amy because we've worked together, because I've helped her with her business, because she's going to help me with mine next quarter. That's the referral. I remember her because she keeps in touch with me. She refers me because I keep in touch with her. It's not that formal transactional kind of relationship or referrals. It is relational. I don't want people going to anybody but Amy because she's the best. That's that question. Ronald, you said I lost connection, rejoined, missed the last slide, the one you said to write down. Okay, let me go. I'm sorry if I'm making you nauseous, but I'm going to go back. I think this is the one you're probably referring to, Ronald, this next steps with a checklist. So I'm going to hang here for a second. Let's see, regarding proactive marketing, which one is most useful to either YouTube or Facebook in your opinion? Okay, so first of all, in general, YouTube and Facebook, I would not consider proactive marketing. But that's in my world. Remember, my specialty is working with service-based businesses. And what I know for sure is that for 95% of service-based businesses, social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, that's not the way to drive business. It's just not the easiest, cheapest way to drive business. So first of all, I don't know that I would consider YouTube or Facebook proactive. And then which is more useful, YouTube or Facebook? Your ideal client is the one who's going to determine that, not me, because for me, it will be Facebook. For other people, it will be YouTube. For other people, it will be Instagram. You have to really look at the demographics of who you are serving and who you want to serve and where they are showing up. So there's, again, this goes back to the no one size fits all answer for this. Glad you like the visualization in visualization exercise. Glad you like that. Regina, you said just yesterday a log for a regular cubicle job with a boss. It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. I have to say, you know, I do things the hard way. Just to let you know, I do not do what I encourage my clients to do, which is take what I've learned, take it, just check it off the list, put it into your business, just, you know, walk in my footsteps best you can. I don't generally do that. And so it has taken me a lot longer to get where I am in my business and where I'm going to go. But there are still days where it's overwhelming because you are responsible for it all. And so get your tribe of people around you. Get them. One thing, Regina, National Association of Women Business Owners have a great Chicago chapter. So they're my people for sure. Let's see. I'm sorry, I scrolled down and okay, I'm glad somebody, Sylvia, glad you liked the quote. That lit a fire under me. Let's see, another comment question. Even though I've not started my business, these strategies take some of the pressure off. Yay. It's a lot to do, but it makes sense and seem more attainable. I'm so glad, Charles. The pressure always comes off from me when I understand what buckets I need to fill. Or file folders I need to fill is the way I think of it. So sounds like we think similarly. Latoya, I have a home care agency. Would like to create referral relationships with medical device or elderly transportation companies. Where should I start? Should I offer a referral fee? In those cases, I have seen people work in that industry and do referral fees back and forth for sure. One thing to remember though, is when you create those referral relationship, it is valuable to them too. And so, I think the best thing to do is to just, and I don't do a lot of cold outreach, but in this case, it could really work because you're really offering them something valuable. So calling up medical device or elderly transportation companies for sure, they want more referrals, and for you, they would be easy to refer. And so that means you are actually offering them not just to receive business from them, but to give them business. And so giving a call to their marketing person or their salesperson and just saying, hey, here's what I do. Would you like to have a conversation about creating a referral relationship so that I can be sending business your way and you can be sending business my way? I mean, just straightforward, straight to the chase. Here's the thing. There's no magic words that are going to make everybody say yes. What you're looking for is those people who are going to light up and be so excited because they're looking for what you're looking for. You're looking for those matches where it's easy, not people you have to convince. And then you figure it out from there. Does it make sense to have a referral fee? Or does it make sense just to be listed on your website and their website as preferred providers? Figure it out together. You don't have to have it all sorted out. I think that holds a lot of people back. I like getting things finished more than I like them perfect. And it's one of the things that's moved me forward faster in my business, is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Like some people have to have the perfect brochure and the pricing, all the things. Nope. Have a conversation with someone. You will find the right people. Let's see. How do you best determine the amount of money to give for referrals? I don't know the answer to that. I'm trying to really stay in my lane of expertise. I don't know the answer to that because I don't give money for referrals. Anthony, let's cut to the chase. What do you have a pricing fee on your website? If you mean for my services, yeah, I have majority of my pricing on my website. If that's something you want to look at, simplygetclients.com. And if that's not what you're asking, Anthony, let me know. Sorry, Anthony. biggest need is having a coach on a referral basis. Okay. You have my contact information, reach out to me and we can have a conversation for sure. Okay. Huge information in the presentation. Can you please give us a summary of it for our future reference? I don't have a summary, but the recording will be available to you. Sylvia says, I admit I become overwhelmed with strategies. Being told to create an ebook as a lead magnet, give a course, YouTube, spend tons of money on Facebook ads. Okay. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's digital marketing. And Sylvia, if you told me your business, I am sorry, I've forgotten it. So I'd like to know what that is. All of these things are good, but with limited time and energy, I look at what has the highest ROI. What has the highest return on investment for your time, energy, money? And the ebook is a lead magnet. That is a long tail strategy, short tail strategy, something that can produce results quicker, referrals, just is. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. Those are all things to do. And those are things I dive deeply into now. And I have a team of 5 or 6 people who are all helping me run everything. So doing things in the right order is important because you only have so much time and energy. And when you start to scatter yourself and listening to what everybody is telling you to do, you know how I created an ebook? Okay, so here's a trick. Here's a trick. How I created my ebook or created my book was I wrote blogs for 5 years and I put them into a book. That's what I did. I created online courses because I got clients and then I started and paying clients. I started to notice what are the things they need over and over. And so once I was like, oh, they need to be able to identify their messaging. So here's the exercise we do. So it's an earn while you learn method of business. So instead of trying to figure out how perfect it is, you start with the fundamentals. Start with those 6 things. You've got to know your ideal client. If you don't know your ideal client, no matter what you put out there, you can put out a ton of information and be very productive, and you will be missing the mark. Get the foundation in order. It's so critically important. Let's see. Okay, so Sylvia, your custom skincare products to promote self-care. Okay, fantastic. Product base. Referrals for that is excellent too. And for skincare, it's all about before and after. It's very visual. It's all about before and after. And so for you, the visibility and credibility actually plays a bigger part because people can say, oh my gosh, I love Sylvia's stuff. But if they can't see something that makes a difference, it's unlikely they're going to switch. Yeah. Okay. And I'd like to receive the recording. Okay. And I just want to say, to the person who is advocating on behalf of hearing impaired, I will tell you, I appreciate this because in my presentations that I do through my own networks, I have the ability to turn on captions and I have not done it yet. And you just like hit me between the eyes that I haven't done it. So I'm going to figure that out. Thank you. It's important. Right, I'm going to go to Q&A real quick. Let's see, another question in the Q&A, and then we're probably going to wrap up just a little early. I'm not personally active on social media. I have an account but don't post. How do I begin on social media without it look like I'm just promoting my business? Do I just do a business page and focus on that, not really concern myself with a personal page, or do I have to do both? It would completely depend on what channel you're talking about, and you have to start somewhere. One of the things I was told is, one of the things that I was taught was put out information that is useful. On social media, be useful, be funny, be engaging. It's not, because if it is all about promoting your business, then don't do it because people just, they don't go on social media to be promoted to. I mean, occasionally, yes, I buy the random skincare pair of stretchy jeans on Instagram because they have that stuff dialed in. But in general, people don't go to social media to go shopping. It's just not what they do. So getting out there, and just starting to post and being transparent about what's going on. Saying, hey, you know what? I've resisted posting this. I've been resistant to getting onto social media because I'm afraid of getting it wrong. But I'm here and I hope to connect with you. Just be real. I have to tell you, the blogs I write and the posts I put out into the world that they get the most response are the ones where I'm just letting my hair down. Like I had this really emotional blow up over adopting a cat and taught me all these life lessons. And I wrote a series of 3 blogs. And people like just so identified because I risked looking a little silly, frankly, going, oh, I had this big emotional upset over a cat. But people appreciate that. So be real, start somewhere, start where your people are. And I know of a couple of people who do social media who have membership groups who it's very inexpensive and it lets you access their expertise instead of having them do it for you, which can be quite expensive. So if you want any of those resources, let me know. I'm going to actually flip over to my contact information just so you have that again. And yes, Charles says provide value for sure. See, is it necessary to make a survey for the clients to make sure the business is going smooth? It's great. It's great to survey clients. It's better to do it in person and have a conversation, make sure things are going smoothly. It's a great opportunity to also ask for referrals. That's that leverage, doing a couple things at once in a conversation. And someone said, I'd love that information. Okay, you have my contact information, reach out, because I absolutely am juggling too many things during a presentation to to go, okay, I'll jot down your email address. So please do reach out to me. Let's see. If social media isn't proactive, besides referrals, what else can I focus on for service-based business to generate leads? Okay, Angie. Speaking is another way that people do get a lot of business. Networking, and you want to choose a couple of different things that kind of work together. Okay, so networking. Okay, so when I started my business, my first several years, I had 4 strategies. Okay, it was speaking, referral generation, networking, and my newsletter. Speaking, networking, newsletter, or speaking, what did I say? Speaking, referrals, networking, newsletter. These 4 things worked together. When I was speaking, I would ask to get people on my list. When I was networking, I was asking about referrals or speaking engagements. My list helped me keep in touch and in front of people on a one-to-many basis. So you want to make sure, actually, here's another fun exercise if you want to do this. Call it the spinning plates exercise. I'm going to switch this over to the quote. So if you look at all of the marketing efforts you're doing and you just kind of like write them out on a piece of paper, so they're all kinds of scattered all over, and then you put a circle around them, each one of them, just so they're their own little place. And then you want to start connecting them. Say, okay, newsletter can connect with networking because I can get people on my list. I can say, hey, would you like me to send you some resources? And speaking can connect to referrals in this way. And just see how these things connect, and that can start to help you with your plan. But then if you've got a little plate or a little circle off to itself that doesn't connect with anything, that probably means that that one thing isn't leveraged. It's not going to get you a lot of return on investment. And you might want to consider doing away with that. I remember doing that with someone once, one of my clients once, and we found Groupon was just sitting over on its own, sad and lonely. And she got the worst leads from Groupon anyway, the bargain hunters. So we were able to eliminate that. But it's all about how do you evaluate. Just make sure that you're doing the right things. I hate wasting time. I hate it. You know, and at a certain point in my business, I didn't have any extra energy to waste. Okay, where do you post a blog? On a website. That's where mine is, on my website. Ahmed says, can you give me an idea if our company faces aggressive and fierce competition from large companies? Wow, I have no idea what aggressive and fierce competition from large companies. Differentiation. I can give you an example. Many years ago, I had a business coach, and he was way ahead of me, much more accomplished than I was, and he was trying to explain to me this idea of polarizing. And I said, he said, Mary, we're going to practice this. Why would someone hire you and not me? And I was just like, dude, Adam, I have no idea, because you're so much more accomplished. I don't know any reason why someone would hire me instead of you. He says, okay, listen to this. He pretended to be me, and he said, okay, you can go work with Adam, of course, but he's going to dig deep into psychology and go down every rabbit hole. And with me, what we really focused on is getting to the results you're looking for quickly, and so on. Anyway, just taking my position of what I did. We don't dive deep into the where, why, psychology, and so forth. We just go, what are the right actions? How do we do them quickly? How do we get the results we want? And then when he went over and did his position, he said, you know, if you don't just want to take things at face value, if you really want to absorb to a deep level and understand critically how strategically, psychologically these things work, that's what I bring to the table. So, Ahmed, it's about differentiating and polarizing. You've seen big companies do this. When Sprint stole Jared from Verizon, was it Jared? Oh no, I'm thinking of something. When they stole the guy from Verizon, the "Can you hear me now" guy, that was a huge polarization. It was a huge poke at them. So what can you do to just differentiate the hell out of yourself? And that's the best. Without knowing more, that is the first thing that comes to mind for me. Let's see, Diane. So she sent me this privately, so I'm sorry I said her name. I'm just going to answer it without asking the question, because I don't know if there's a reason if you did it privately. Okay, yay. Okay, so everything that I've been talking about for service-based businesses, as far as lead generation, that is from my longtime experience with I'd say 80% of my clients are coaches, consultants, trainers. So speaking, referral generation, networking, those are just the big three. Those are the big three. And it's all about being very intentional with knowing where to go, what to say, and what to do in those. And again, get that checklist. It's got to be, I do these things. Okay, so for coaches, consultants, and trainers, the lead generation #1 source of leads is, and this is worldwide. I talk to women in Africa, I talk to women in China, referrals. It is everything. So lead generation is referrals. That's where it comes from. And then a lot of those connections come from speaking and then networking. Top 3. And I think I've gotten through all the questions. Woo! All right. Any last? Okay, so Diane said, okay, she didn't know it was private. Good. Okay. I just wanted to make sure if there was something sensitive there. I didn't really put my foot in it, Diane. All right. I think that's it. I think I got through everything, unless Stella, unless you saw something that I missed.
Do you see the questions in the Q&A box?
I did. Yeah, I think I got through everything. There were just a couple comments in there, but I did get, yeah, I got through all of them. Yep.
Thank you for your presentation.
My pleasure.
Can you please put in do you have a slide showing your contact information?
I do. Let me get to that. There you go. And I'm popping it right in here. Okay, and that is, I really, okay, someone says best ways to network these days. Oh my gosh, speed networking. I actually have a networking group that I love, that I run myself. Very, very organized, very structured. What a surprise. Um, and, just look up best ways to network are, the best ways to network are to do the stuff beforehand. Figure out where your ideal client hangs out, get your messaging dialed in, and then go to those places, go to the groups where those people hang out, or the centers of influence that you'd like to connect with hang out. That's really the best way to network. And thank you for the kind words in the chat very much. And Stella, can you answer the question how to watch the
So this webinar will be posted on the BACP Chicago YouTube page by Monday. So you can watch this webinar again as early as this coming Monday on the BACP Chicago YouTube page. Also, to learn more about our upcoming webinars, please visit chicago.gov/business education. Again, that's chicago.gov/business education. If you are a part of the BACP Entrepreneurship Certificate Program, please send an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org to receive credit for today's webinar. Again, that's bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. Again, thank you, Mary, for this wonderful presentation. I hope all of you was able to learn, got out a lot of great information from her presentation. I know I did. I was taking notes as well. I want you guys to go out there and enjoy this weekend. According to my computer, it's 81 degrees and mostly sunny. And if you are in the downtown area, please pay us a visit at Daily Plaza today. We're having our Food Truck Fest, Food Truck Fridays. We are there until October 15th. So stop by and visit us at the Food Truck Festival on Daily Plaza today. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye.